way so many die. Suicide, AIDS, drug and alcohol abuse, violence, heroin overdoses, even asphyxiation in one's own vomit. Take as just one example, an artist whose life and death, while not as well known as other rock catastrophes, serves as one of the best illustrations of just how lethal rebellion can be. A gifted, intelligent, and beautiful woman, Nico fell headlong into the chaos of rock and roll when Andy Warhol tapped her for the Velvet Underground. The more you look at the same exact thing, pop artist Warhol had once explained, the more the meaning goes away and the better and emptier you feel. Well, Nico became a committed disciple of this doctrine of meaninglessness, declaring, "I'm a nihilist, so I like destruction." Nihilism seemed to be the most suitable religion. Through both music and sexual relationships, Nico shared her faith. Punk's godfather, Iggy Pop, for example, credits her with helping him get totally into corruption.
Why don't you kiss my blood? Yeah. A kiss of blood.
This particular attitude that I have all stems from Nico, he told one interviewer. I was a skinny little naive brat, and she taught me. You are not full of the poison, she said. This is not right. How can you perform when you are not full of the poison? I will help fill you with poison. Otherwise, you have nothing. We do not want to see a person on stage. We want to see a performance. And the poison is the essence of the performer. Well, eventually the poison took its toll. Drugs became her primary sacrament, reaching a depth where eventually she turned her own teenage son onto heroin. Chaos destroyed cosmos, and moral absolutes were among its victims.
I don't have any limits, you know.
Without truth, even art was turned on its head as ugliness became her preferred aesthetic.
She was almost proud of the fact that her teeth were rotten and her hair was grey and her skin was bad and she had needle tracks all over. I mean, she liked that. That was her aesthetic.
She died alone, and the nihilistic wasteland she helped pioneer. A world where ugliness and darkness have become fashion statements. Where the divide between good and evil is blurred and ever-changing. Where death and existential despair are viewed as somehow attractive, brave, and profound. And where the derangement of the senses is the key to creativity. Her spiritual children barely took note of her passing. Of course, by the grace and forbearance of God, far more people live on than die young. But they, as well as each of us, will still one day die. And after death, the scriptures declare, comes judgment. Those who have rejected God will in turn be rejected. And it's this death, what the Bible calls the second one, the final reward for all who have chosen rebellion over obedience. That is the only death with which each of us should be ultimately concerned. As Jesus warned, my friends, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do, but I will show you whom you should fear. Fear him who, after he has killed, has power to cast into hell. Yes, I say to you, fear him. Number 5. Rebellion, like hell, is never satisfied. Good, like God, has no limits. There are always new vistas of virtue to explore and develop. But rock's deliberate identification with rebellion and chaos has created a very real and pathetically ironic dilemma. When the limbo bar of cultural standards keeps getting dropped, how low can you go before you fall on your back? How does one fly their rock and roll freak flag high? when it's the Woodstock generation that's now the status quo? At what point does rebellion start to either play like a cartoon or stink of unrefined evil? 40 and 50-somethings, for example, can remember when the F word was shocking, and even the idea that Jim Morrison might have flashed an audience in Miami led to a felony arrest and sparked a national scandal. And today? Well, entire concerts are performed naked, and obscenities are so common that if they were somehow banned, hundreds of artists would have a hard time fashioning a coherent sentence. So what's a poor rebel to do?
They cut up each other on stage. The lead singer has a 4-foot-long that he masturbates and sprays white.
Sing about raping the Virgin Mary and torturing Christians? Rub animal entrails all over their body? Rap about mutilating women or having sex with underage girls? Commit unspeakable acts on stage?
Why, Gigi, did you feel a need to defecate in front of a live audience?
Well, my body is the rock and roll temple, and my flesh, blood, and body fluids are a communion to the people. And there are no limits and no laws, and I'll break down every barrier put in front of me till the day I die.
The pathetic absurdity of this cycle of satanic one-upmanship is nowhere more obvious than in the life and music of the platinum-selling rockers from Iowa, Slipknot. No doubt without fully realizing it, guitarist Mick Thompson commented on the progressive desensitization that made his band's particular brand of rebellion and nihilism a foregone conclusion. I used to watch a lot of gore movies, lots of true death videos, and at first, sure, I was disturbed by what I saw, but after a while I became numb to it. With hard music, it's the same way. People listen to Korn, and now they want something even harder. It's like a drug. And their drug?
Basically 9 people working out every poison that ever infected them in their life and putting it on tape.
And I hope they get a positive message for them, you know, where they don't have to answer to anything or anyone.
This song is your new national anthem. This song is called
Drummer and group visionary Sean Crahan says the band's mission is to spread the sickness, which includes not only the raw rebellion of their lyrics and music, but live performances that feature band members hitting themselves and each other, drinking urine, smearing feces, throwing up into their masks, starting fires, and in general embracing chaos with a nihilistic vigor that would stun the Vudans of Haiti. And the effect on their audience? Every show, Crahan told Rolling Stone, I've got some kid out there who's hitting himself just like me. His knuckles are bloody, his eyes are black. I'll look in his eyes and see that he's in some other place. It's a heavy-duty responsibility. So it's only rock and roll, huh? As incredible as all this is, there's an important footnote. Most of the band came from intact homes and led wholesome American lives.
Hi, Mom, look at me.
They live in the richest, most free nation the world has ever seen. Crahan admits, I have a beautiful wife and 3 healthy children. I'm happy, man. And then goes on to say, but when I'm on stage, it's effing on. I'll kill people. I look into the eye of the abyss every day of my life because my time here, it's nothing, man. Well, Crahan and millions of other artists and individuals feel this way because they've made a choice. They've embraced the spirit of our age, preferring chaos over cosmos, their will over God's. And now, as they stare into the pit of nothingness, this other place Crahan sees in the eyes of his fans, the anger, pain, and emptiness they experience are not only the result of a self-fulfilling prophecy, they are the emanations of the satanic reality that lies waiting, like a black hole, in the bottom of the abyss. None